I'll talk more about this with Kevin later, but while I've got you here, college football, the next potential change would be going to a 12-team playoff for college football. That is something that I think would be very interesting, but very needed. I'm so tired, and I think everybody's so tired, sick and tired of watching Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State. It's ridiculous because you know what? Upsets happen. But it just I definitely think college football needs that.
See, I kind of disagree. I think 12 teams is a little much.
The number is a little high. I agree with that.
Well, the reason why I'm disagreeing is, let's take the last 5 years. Okay,
there's not been 12 teams that could fit in there.
There's not 11 teams that can beat Alabama.
Nope.
So I don't think it's necessary, to be honest with you. Now I think things can change based on the parity of the sport, but based on how things are going right now, honestly, if Alabama and Clemson are seeds 1 and 2, 3 and 4 really don't matter, and they really haven't put up a fight against those two programs. That's my argument on why we don't need to expand it. Now, from a fan standpoint, I'm okay going from 4 to 6 and figuring out a bye situation or whatever, just to get more teams involved. But I think it's clear that the two best college football programs of the last 5 to 10 years have been Alabama, Clemson, and you maybe throw in Ohio State on a sporadic basis, depending on the year. But yeah, what I'm getting at is, last year Notre Dame had no chance. Ohio State had no chance to beat Alabama. So to me, it's really not. It's not necessary. You would just be prolonging the inevitable, in my opinion.
I will say this one thing, though, Matt. To me, what's interesting is, if you take a look at the NFL, and I know it's a different animal, but, you take a look at the Tampa Bay Bucks. They were a team that in the regular season really struggled. You remember those games and
the NFL. I see where you're going. If you would have asked me last August, hey, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do they have a chance to win the Super Bowl? I would have said maybe. Yeah. And that's that. You're right. That is the beauty of the NFL. The parity of the league is what makes it great. There's 4 teams every year that make the playoffs that didn't the year before, dating back to 1990. Right. So that you have a team every year that finishes last in their division that wins the division the next year. So I just don't think you have that in college football to that degree, though. That's my argument, because you have the greats, you have the haves, and then the have-nots when it comes to Alabama and Clemson. There's a big difference. There's a big separation between 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 and then everybody else.
Yeah, no, I think the point that I was getting at, though, with that was they were a team that played their best football at the end of the season. Whereas and Oklahoma, I thought, was playing its best football at the end of the season. But the way the college football playoff is currently structured, you don't reward someone for that, because if you have some early slip-ups, you're pretty much done and you're out of the 4.
No, that's fair.
So I think there's something to be said for, if you expand, you could maybe reward a team like Oklahoma that's kind of coming together at the right time.
No, that's right. In the NFL, it's apples to apples. All the games count the same, whereas in college football, it's apples to oranges to bananas to peaches to pears, because we saw last year the college football playoff committee. I still don't know what the criteria was for Indiana to make the New Year's Six. Excuse me. That was an absolute hose job. We see it every year.
You have to take Indiana off the chest for that to happen.
No, I heard what Fred Glass said on a podcast. I thought it was great. When he talked about his devotion for Tom Allen and feeling like he was in a place after he had retired as athletic director of Indiana. Scott Dolson couldn't say anything. Tom Allen couldn't say anything, but he thought he was in a uniquely positioned spot to, I've got the experience, I've got the background of how this works, and I think something needs to be said on behalf of the program. And so he spoke up, and rightfully so. So yeah, that's sort of the I guess the great thing, but also the bad thing about college football. It's why we love it, because it's all subjective, but at the same time, it's infuriating if your team is on the wrong end of the wrong subject in a lot of people's eyes.
I think they should move Clemson to the NFC East, and you can move Alabama to the NFC South, and that would solve all the college football's problems, because those two programs probably have a higher payroll than the lower teams in those divisions.
I disagree with that, but I know what you're talking about. I think
The payroll,
Alabama would get absolutely rolled by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
they would, in all honesty. But yes. What else is new with you? I know you don't have a lot of time today, so what's going on with you?
I'm heading on vacation. I'll be out the next 2 weeks, so detaching myself a little bit. I'll be gone.
There's the detachment we talked about.
There you go. Yeah, heading down to Florida next week, and then the week after that, heading up to Michigan. So trying to get some R&R before the grind in late July.
Enjoy Florida. What part of Florida are you going down to?
Going down to Clearwater.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yes, sir.
Brother, enjoy it. I won't delay your vacation start any longer, man. We appreciate you. I hope you have a great vacation. I guess we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
You got it, guys. I appreciate you.